You have reached the last stage of your journey before permanent ascension. You are ascending at like unprecedented levels, okay? And I feel like what you're doing is whatever was written for you in the Akashic records, if you believe in that, okay? Whatever karma, whatever negative karma that you had, that you feel like you were continuing to, act out, you're burning all of that, okay? You are ascending for the better. You are elevating at levels higher than before. And like right now, your spirit guides, okay, the people that protect you in the spiritual world are very, very impressed by all this inner work that you've been doing. If you believe in fate, if you believe in destiny, if you believe that things were written out for you, if that is the case, I feel like you reached this level of ascension earlier than you were supposed to, which is why right now things could seem a little bit chaotic, because you're ascending at rates higher than before, okay, at like unprecedented levels. I know I said that like twice because I mean it. And this ascension has been kind of tough for you. It came at a price. It came at the price of your sanity. At times you literally question, am I going through psychosis? Like, what's going on? You suffered 9 of Swords energy, nights riddled with anxiety. You saw weird things happening around you in your reality. Friendships breaking off, or maybe not breaking off, but distancing yourself from certain people. But you also saw newer, better energies coming in. Okay, you saw things completely change. Things go haywire in your reality. And this is something that is a blessing in disguise. Okay, when we reach a certain level of stability, sometimes we have to go through chaos so our brains can be used to that. So our brains can get used to that. You know how when we first start learning something, we feel confused. We're just like, what's going on? Right? That's exactly what's going on in your reality on a deep spiritual level. You are reaching that new up level in your life, that next up level, and you're taking a massive leap. You're not going from here to here. You're going from like here to like here above this painting behind me, okay? And the universe is preparing you to be ready for this next level, because you are going to experience bliss and abundance like never before. What I'm seeing here is that you are preparing yourself to be happy, to feel good. You suffered from anxiety, you suffered from fight or flight response, okay? You've gone through a lot. You've gone through a lot in your life, okay? Your default program, okay, your autopilot program is feeling anxious, feeling tension, like, oh, what's gonna happen now? What's gonna happen next? Maybe you haven't even gone a couple days without feeling anxious about something in your life, even if things were going fine in your 3D reality. You're finally going to feel peace and bliss and happiness for extended periods of time without having to worry about what's happening in the future. I'm seeing that you are extremely worried about the future right now, even more so than the past. Even though you think about the past, I'm seeing that the future lives in your mind rent-free. You're just like, what's going to happen? What am I gonna get married? What's gonna happen with my job, career? Am I losing the race against time? It's normal for these thoughts to pop up. But the question is, what are you doing after these thoughts pop up? Are you letting them rule you? Or are you telling these thoughts, hey, you are valid for popping up, but I'm fine, I'm gonna be okay, because you've been okay thus far. You're able to watch this video, you have internet access. You're better than, like, honestly, like, probably 80% of the world. You're in a better position. You're smarter than you think. You're smarter than, you think you are. You're more well off than you think you are. Don't let society tell you that you're not. Just because you're not at a certain level in your life, you don't have a certain amount of income, you don't look a certain way. It can be very easy to get caught up in societal constructs, the matrix that is reality, okay? You've gone through ups and downs. You've gone through a series of disappointments. And now the universe is preparing for you to be eternally happy and be at peace. Okay? I'm also getting some spiritual downloads about the throat chakra. I feel like you need to speak up. Speak up for the things that don't serve you anymore. Speak up when it comes to, your relationships with other people. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be loud about it. Maybe you never felt seen as a child or heard as a child, or in your past or in your relationships. So maybe you've developed this mechanism to, of anger. Maybe sometimes you feel like extremely self-defensive. Not always. Maybe with certain people, certain things. Because you feel like you let your inner child down by not speaking up at the time, or you couldn't speak up at the time, or you were silenced. This doesn't have to be a problem. You can tell your inner child, I honor that. I honor everything that you've gone through, but now I'm going to make you proud as an adult, and I'm going to speak up. I'm going to practice healthy boundaries. You don't have to keep operating from that hurt inner child all the time. It's important to know what happened to you in your childhood and acknowledge the things that happened to you, but you don't have to perpetually function that way. You don't have to identify with anything you don't want to experience in your life. Whatever you think you have, okay? If it's not serving you and the type of life, and it's not in alignment with the type of lifestyle you want to live, you don't need to keep identifying with it. You're not always the person who gets heartbroken, who gets disappointed all the time, okay? You're the person who gets everything they want. You're someone who's wise, who's done the inner work, and now you're going to be handsomely rewarded by the universe for doing that. Because that's what you deserve. You weren't here to stay in a victim mentality. You were here to harness all the energies within you, the light, the dark, the good, the bad, the yin and yang, to elevate and grow as a person, to help, to heal, to expand the world. The world is expanding at a rapid rate, okay? We are expanding at rates faster than ever before. You're also expanding your consciousness, which is why these crazy things might be happening around you, which is why you might be experiencing chaos in your life, a tower moment, destruction, because there's something new coming in, something better coming in, okay? You were meant to get rid of anything in your belief system that doesn't serve you, that makes you out to be a victim, because you're not a victim. You never actually have been. You believe that you were a victim because it felt safe and comfortable to think that way, because it prevented you from taking accountability. Okay? Once you take accountability that, okay, I'm in this reality and I don't like this reality, I want to shift, that's when the magic really happens. And that's not to say, you're responsible for, all the bad things, the trauma that happened to you. Here's the thing. I've been asked about this before. Did you manifest your trauma? You manifested a timeline in which you experienced that trauma. There exists a timeline where you never experienced that trauma. There exists a timeline where you're like a multimillionaire living in your dream penthouse with your soulmate. There actually exists a version of reality. There exists a timeline where you didn't go through that thing in your childhood. It's up to you to figure out what kind of life you want to live. If something is not serving you, you do not need to be tied down to that because society tells you that you need to be tied down to that. Okay? You don't need to resonate with things just because you've been used to agreeing with things or people. You don't need to... You need to come back to your true self. Like, who are you really? What's your higher self trying to tell you? Communicate with your higher self. Do you want to be a perpetual victim? Do you want to go through a series of disappointment? Or do you want to take your power back? Because once you do that, you have more power to create the reality that you want to be in. It's up to you. It's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you choices. I'm just giving you options. I'm laying down different timelines. It's up to you to choose which timeline you want to be in. Okay? There's nothing wrong with acknowledging patterns in your life, but you can also choose to not keep reliving that pattern. Maybe you do have a pattern, and that's, reflective of the algorithm that, exists in your universe, in your timeline. But you don't always have to, you don't always have to keep repeating that pattern again and again and again and again and again. Maybe that pattern has shown up again in your life, but you're reacting to it differently this time. This is what's contributing to your ascension. This is what's helping you reach that next up level. That pattern maybe did appear in your life again, but you're reacting in a different manner, and you're breaking out of that cycle completely. You're not going to keep going through that pattern because you have taken back your power from that pattern. That pattern kept showing up in your life because it had some sort of power over you, and you kept giving it power. But you're taking back your power and attention from it. You're shifting your energy, your thoughts, your focus to another timeline that's more conducive to the life that you want to live. And you're breaking out of that pattern for good. You're breaking out of that cycle for good. You're actually healing ancestral trauma more than you know it. You're making your ancestors proud. You're making your spirit guides proud. You're making the people around you proud. You're shifting to a timeline of Earth that is more higher vibrational, where there's better people, better relationships, better opportunities, nicer people, no war, no poverty, none of the bad stuff that we see happening, okay? You had to see all these things happen around you for you to practice some discernment and realize that that's not the life that you want to live. You don't want to be aware of that. You didn't come here to suffer. Maybe you came here to help lift the vibration. Maybe you came here to just enjoy and be yourself. Only you can figure out what you came here to do. Maybe you think you're a starseed. Maybe you think you're just a spiritual being having a human experience. What makes you the most happy in that moment? What brings you peace? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself these questions, rather than just internalizing everything you see in here. Figure out what works best for your highest self, what gives you the most peace, abundance, bliss, not just in the present moment, but eternally, consistently. You're meant to be happy for more than 3 days at a time. You're meant to live a stress-free, happy life, okay? Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to voice your voice. People benefit when you speak up. People benefit from your presence more than you even know it. Don't dim your light. There are so many people that wish they had half the intelligence and wisdom that you do at the age that you do. And age, time, all of that, it's all subjective. It's a construct, okay? But it's better late than never. You found this information, you found this channel, you found the concept of manifestation, spirituality, esotericism, metaphysics for a reason. And the earlier you find it, it's never too late to find it, but the earlier you find it and really tap into the power within, harness the power within, really deeply internalize these concepts and use the ones that you like to serve you, you will create magic on this realm. You will keep shifting timelines. You will keep shifting to higher levels of Earth. Okay? And experience happiness, peace, joy. You'll get more out of life. You'll feel more fulfilled. You're a deep person. You weren't meant to live a mediocre life. You weren't meant to be basic. Feel all the emotions. Harness them. Okay? It doesn't matter what other people think. Other people might think you're crazy. They don't understand where you've been. They don't know your life. And they might go through something at some point in their life where they will finally understand why you are the way that you are. I feel like you have the power to do that. I feel like you are divinely protected. I'm seeing by Saturn. I'm seeing by, just karma itself. Like if you were to view karma as a spirit guide, people benefit by being from your energy, but they also learn lessons through you. Maybe you could have certain placements in your birth chart, or even just the energy that you're emanating, where, people get their karma, whether it be good, bad, neutral, whatever, based on how they treat you. I feel like if there were people that wronged you in the past, or maybe people that you thought you were, being too much around or something like that, they're getting their karma. Because they met someone way worse than you. Not that you were bad to begin with. But sometimes that happens, right? Like when we complain about someone, and then we meet someone way worse, and we're just like, oh my gosh, this person one was like an angel compared to this other person. Yeah, these people, the ones that didn't value you, they didn't even value themselves. And now I'm seeing that they're getting their karmic retribution. I feel like you're balancing out whatever you want to call it, whether you want to call it, karma, your thought energies. I know in certain religions, cultures, in Hinduism, they believe like even thoughts have karma, right? I'm definitely seeing that you're learning to integrate your shadow self, harness both the light and dark energies within you to create a beautiful life for you and others. And that's some of the most deep, intense work that anyone can do. You know how to alchemize pain into power. Maybe, people around you won't understand this. Everyone's on a different journey. Some people have mastered this in their past life. Now they're here to live, a simple life, an NPC life if you want to call it, where they never get introduced to these concepts or it doesn't, resonate with them. It's okay. Everyone has different paths. We should respect everyone, okay, regardless of what their philosophy is. But what I'm seeing here is that you are reaching this next level. You are elevating, growing, okay? And I'm not saying this in an egotistical manner, but I feel like the growth that you're about to have, the lifestyle that you're about to live, it's gonna be bigger than maybe the people around you, too big to believe, okay? I'm seeing here that people are inspired by you, inspired by your growth. Maybe some of the woo-woo things that you talk about, maybe people did judge that, or they thought it was kind of funny or silly, but then they saw just how much you've risen, how much you've grown, the lifestyle you live, okay? And now they're inspired. Now they're just you know what, maybe this person's onto something, maybe let me try to learn from them instead of judging. But I'm definitely seeing you're ascending to heights greater than ever before, materially, emotionally, spiritually, literally in every realm. It's all happening at once. I feel like the algorithm that a lot of you may have is that it's either nothing or everything happens at once. And maybe you'll see signs here and there, but I'm seeing that you're about to experience major bliss, and the universe is preparing you to be able to accept this with grace, because maybe you've had problems accepting things in the past because you felt like you weren't good enough to accept things. But now you're accepting it, you're being receptive towards it. Maybe this is something that you're working on doing, you're learning. Maybe you've been habitually practicing accepting things, and people have been treating you, people have been giving you things, people have been offering you help, okay? You've given a lot, it's your time to receive. And I'm seeing here that you're going to be so eternally blessed, and you're going to know what to do with these blessings. You're going to know exactly what to do with everything that comes your way, because you're wiser, smarter, knowledgeable. And I'm seeing here that you're a light for others. You're the type of person where if something good comes to you, you want to share that with the world. You want to help other people with it. That's why the universe chose you. They chose you because you share your gifts with the world. You're a kind, generous person. That's why you're living this life of abundance, because you have a good heart. You're not an NPC, you're a real person with a soul. When you're happy, the universe is happy. You shouldn't feel bad for asking for more from the universe. You shouldn't feel bad for asking to be a multimillionaire, for living in a penthouse, for doing whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe that's not what everyone wants. But the universe chose you to find these concepts, to learn about metaphysics, to learn about spirituality, to learn about esotericism, so that you're able to share these gifts and help the world expand spiritually. It's we may be expanding in other ways, but you're one of the reasons why this world is still intact. It's your energy, your wisdom, your knowledge that has saved so many people. Seriously, this world would have been done and gone by now we would have been in a complete apocalypse, and we're not. We're not there yet. And hopefully we never will be, because everything is a tower moment. Everything has to do with, rebuilding an even better society. But it's because of people who have this beautiful energy, pure souls, knowledge and wisdom the way that you do, that the world is not completely gone. You know what I mean? There's monks out there. There's like spiritual people out there that go to, sanctuaries, churches, temples, mosques, whatever you want to call it, that pray for the well-being of this world. The world would actually be in a much worse place if it wasn't for these people emanating, these positive energies and praying and going inwards. You're about to experience a much better timeline and ascend to higher levels, unprecedented levels than ever before. And you're going to be so happy that you never gave up on yourself. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope this message helped. I was going to pick some cards from the Visions of the Soul, Meditation, and Portal cards deck, but I feel like I didn't even need to. I feel like I was like channeling the energy of this deck without even like picking anything from the deck. But thank you so much for tuning in. I do want to let you know that I offer in-depth tarot readings as well as manifestation coaching and also custom make subliminals. So if you're interested in any of these services, check out the description box below where you will find my website, and you can sign up for those services through my website. And yeah, thank you so much. Love and light.